Hey, Bayek, it's me, Ian. Well, I'm starting a new series. It's really a continuation of the previous one, which was, of course, Hammer House of Horror. Now, that was in 1980, and 4 years later, we had Hammer House of Mystery and Suspense, and that is 1984. Now, Hammer went into partnership with 20th Century Fox TV, and they called it Fox Mystery Theatre. Now, it was transmitted in this country in 1985, even though it's 84, and it has a very sort of patched history of transmission. What I'm doing is working from this box set, and I'm doing it in order. Therefore, the episodes are different from what it officially says the order is. So my episode 1 is episode 1 on this. Okay. So let's get on with it then. So this is episode 1, Checkmate. This was originally aired on the January 17th, 1986 on ITV. Now, it's written by Jeremy Burnham, who was an actor, writer, going back to 1956. Lots of TV series and films. Then it's directed by John Huff. Now, he's an interesting director. Twins of Evil, 1971, which is a Hammer one. He was directed The Legend of Hell House, 1973. That starred Roddy McDowall. Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry, 1974. I know that stars Peter Fonda. And also he did 2 Disney films. Escape to Witch Mountain, 1975. And Return from Witch Mountain, 1978. And then I'd just like to throw in a horror film he did called Incubus, 1981. Yes, there's the director. Great set of work there, and also lots of TV stuff as well. So wow, great director. So let's get into the cast. The cast, of course, stars Susan George. Wow, I love Susan George. Who doesn't love Susan George? She was great, absolutely great. Vicky Duncan is the character she plays, who's like a sort of a bit of a journalist, I think, from what I see. We get the impression that definitely I think in that. She's well, in a small role, but in The Sorceress from 1967, which was a Michael Reeves film. Don't forget, he only made 3 films, this director, and of course made the brilliant Witchfinder General. Yes, the Vincent Price one. But yes, she's in this one with Boris Karloff. Then we've got Fright, which we've covered before. It's a great film. That's from 1971. And of course, Straw Dogs. That is the film that really put her on the map. 1971. Infamous film, Pacamar film. Absolutely wonderful film. And then she was in Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry, 1974, which of course is directed by, yes, John Huff, who directs this. And yes, she was in also a Venom horror film, 1981. She'd gone into TV. I know she did sort of, I think, EastEnders for a little while, not that long, but I know she did that. Just all sorts of things on TV. Then we've got Patrick Mower, another recognisable face. He plays John Patrick. The film that really stands out for him that he was in was a Hammer film as well, which is The Devil Rides Out from 1968. And also, he was in Carry On England 1976. Oh, Gorky, yes. Not one of the best Carry On films. But then he sort of got into TV. I remember he was in Special Branch, which I think was in the early 70s. But I think he became established in a soap opera, Emmerdale Farm, and I think he's still in it. So there's Patrick Mower. Then we've got Richard Heffer playing Roger Brown. He's films that stand out with Dr. Faustus, which is 1967, and that starred Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor. Then Women in Love, he was in that 1969, which of course is wonderful. Oliver Reed, Glenda Jackson, Alan Bates, all in this wonderful film. And again, lots of TV series. He pops up everywhere. Another actor that you immediately recognise is Peter Vaughan. He plays Bullneck. Yeah, a similar kind of character that he did play in these sort of films. He goes right back to 1954, he did. A notable early film was Village of the Damned from 1960. He was in that. It's a classic film, that. Also, here we are. I love how everything connects. He was in Straw Dogs, and I remember him very much in that role in Straw Dogs. Wow. Wow, that's 1971, and Susan George, of course. So, yes. And again, he just lots of TV series. I think a lot of people recognized him in TV series, Porridge, comedy series, which is very popular. But in really later years, before he died, he was in Game of Thrones from 2011, 2015. I think he was quite established. I've never seen Game of Thrones, but I know he was in that and quite popular. Yes. Then we've got Stephen Greer. Yeah, I think that he plays the inspector. He was in Julia 1977, which was a Fonda Redgrave film. Jane Fonda, Vanessa Redgrave, very good. He was also in Sweeney 2, which we've reviewed here before, 1978. You know, the Sweeney, brilliant. And he was in a few films, but one that just stood out, and I've never heard of it before, was Revolution, 1985. And the reason it stood out was Al Pacino starred in that, and I think it's about the American Revolution. Yeah. It's not one you hear about with Al Pacino in, but apparently Peter Vaughan's, Stephen Greer is in that. Yeah, it's really good, isn't it, when you get that? Yeah. Right. Now, locations are very important in the look of these all the Hammer productions, and this has good locations. Vienna, that's where they went out to film. Prague, wow. They use Vienna in Austria, and it looks great. They were able to recreate, it seems to me, that sort of Cold War kind of feel to it in the hotel and everything. It's absolutely brilliant. Really, really good. So I just mentioned the word Cold War, and that perhaps gives you an idea about what this is about. Now, say Vicky, she's a sort of journalist researcher. Her ex-husband, John, comes back into her life early on, and they rekindle their relationship, and he invites her on a business trip to Prague, the Czechoslovakia, behind the Iron Curtain, and they turn up there, and goes into the hotel, and then he says, "Oh, I've just got to go," and then he goes and disappears, completely disappears, and also the passports are no longer there either, and things start to escalate, and she goes to the British embassies for some help, and ultimately all these things happen, and they end up with there's a murder in a room, in a hotel room. Yes. And then the police and everything, suddenly it all starts to happen. and, and of course she's in becoming increasingly in a right state, and she discovers that there's really it's all involved in espionage, spying, all that, and she's part of this. She's become part of it and been used to some extent. That she's been used. Oh, it's a great story. It keeps you really tense, and wow, I really enjoyed it. It's absolutely wonderful. Um, I say that her acting is Susan Judge just plays the role so well. It's great. The story just works, and it's I was really it's a sad ending. I know I knew the ending, but it's still quite moving. That ending really is. It's a powerful ending. Yeah. Wow. What can I say? I'd just like to say that the quality on the DVD, you kind of wish that they could have done a restoration. A restoration would have been great, wouldn't it? Like Network did, but sadly that's not happened because it's now gone out of print, which is it's very sad, really, that that's happened. But you never know; somebody might come along and sort it out. Be great, be absolutely wonderful. Anyhow, before I go, I'd just like to show you it. There it is. Yeah, there it is. So we've done episode 1 then from here. That is Checkmate. And that's it. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and we'll let you know when I put out videos. And also, have a look at the playlist and see if there's anything that might interest you. Just have a look through. You never know, I might find something. And if you like this video, please give it a like. It gets it into YouTube and to algorithms, and hopefully more people then might enjoy it, or perhaps they won't, I don't know. And if you've got any comments, please put your comments too, and I love to read your comments. They say all cost notes, so can't say further than that, can they? But you can't. And that's it. I've been going on far too long. So all I've got to say is I'll see thee again.